how to do it. Is there a remote? And there was no remote. So they did a video. The wife did the video and the husband turned it on right there, and I sent the email. She said, no problem.
Yeah.
So three things in one. Yeah.
And that's just prepping either the buyer or the
Or the
seller,
seller,
right? For situations. Always think ahead, okay? Always prepare for them for this possibly could happen. This is what could come out of this. But if it is, here's how we're going to deal with it. So there are no surprises unless there is some crazy surprise. Then you go, okay, now right? So it is important. And so I wanted to make sure that, you know, if you're not out there looking at properties, get out there, right? If you're not holding an open house yourself, get out there on the weekend and pop into a bunch of open houses. Just so, you know, you have the option of booking a preview. You don't have to have a buyer to go look at places. You can book online, book it as a agent preview. Okay. And just get out there and know and understand the product. Because it will come across, especially when you're showing properties. They're gonna know if you've been in the neighborhood enough. Okay. Yeah, Nance.
Has anybody thought about doing MLS tour like we do up here? Just, I mean, Remax used to do it years ago, but I mean, it's a pretty good thing because you can see a whole bunch of properties at the same time.
They used to do they used to do them when they were on the market a lot longer. There are a few that we're starting to see where agents are advertising for and promoting the agent previews. Depending on where they are, I know someone called me the other day and said, hey, Scott, like we're going to be doing one from 11 till 1. Maybe you could, you know, let your agents know, that kind of stuff. So it's not as organized as it was before because listings were just selling so fast. But you know, great point that your area is doing that, Nancy. But at the same time, use it as even as an individual, or if you know go out with a few agents in the office and just say, okay, you know what, whatever the area is that you want to concentrate on, just book 3 or 4, go together or go on your own. You have to know them. You have to be able to know the product. Okay, good point. Okay, any other questions, thoughts on that?
I did that recently with a client who was looking for a home. They needed school, they wanted a cul-de-sac, and I found one, but I figured, you know what, let me quickly go there only because they're coming from far. I'll go there, look at the house, and then report back. And sure enough, exactly what Gary suggested. I went there, beautiful home, move-in ready, cul-de-sac, schools all around, except the backyard. The backyard faced a heavily traveled road, and every single noise from cars was hitting the backyard. And I'm like, they're not going to like this. And sure enough, they didn't. But because I did that, because I took the initiative to do that, my clients felt much more comfortable now when I did suggest, hey, let's go and look at this house. This is the one. And they were like, okay, yeah, we trust you now. Let's go. So it does help.
It absolutely does. Good point.
I found that even with, I had a couple looking for a rental, and they were relatively new to Canada from the UK, and they were like dead set on like, this is the price that we want. And I explained, you know, based on what you're looking for and the price you're looking for, the two are not matching. Said, if you can get it up to here, that's where like all the amenities that you're looking for, that's what we're looking at. And they were like, no, we really want to go see these two. And I said, okay. I said, first and foremost, it backs onto the QEW. Like the QEW is right there. Okay. And so that was, you know, you kind of just have to deal with it. And as soon as we got there, she was like, no, we'll look. And the husband was like, this is not it. Like he was, but they knew going in, because I had done the research, I'd looked, and so they weren't shocked by any means, but it was a good opportunity for them to see what was actually out there in their price range. And then we ended up going with one that I had suggested based on what they were actually looking for, which is a totally brand new unit.
Yeah, Julia.
I had a client that was really hot on this one house. And I knew the house, it was listed, it'd been sitting on the market for a while. I actually went to the house and walked around it and they were really, really hot on it. And I said, so your house is the first one on this street and it backs onto two busy streets, but it has a laneway, so you're not going to get the noise. But right behind the house is the back and the side of a Chinese, like a produce place and a big place. It's, to lettuce and tomatoes and all that kind of stuff. And then along the other section of the laneway, there's 3 restaurants and they put all their garbage in the laneway. I said, you got to be sure that rodents are not going to get inside your property. And I didn't even get into the house. I just walked around it and said, this is not going to be for them. I know these people way too well. And they wept over that house. They loved the house, but they knew I was right. And I sometimes think they test me with these houses. So anyway.
Yeah, no, really, really important to, and again, what you're trying to build is you're trying to build the trust in your clients. And if they see you doing your due diligence and you're explaining it to them instead of trying to just jam them into a property, that builds trust, that builds long-term clients, that builds referral business, right? So, be the professional, go look at properties, check everything out. Know what you're selling instead of just showing up and go, okay, open the door and show them through. Okay. The other part that I want to really make sure you guys are concentrating on is move up buyers are happening. Okay. They were sitting on the sidelines a little bit, but a lot of the properties a lot of the agents I'm talking with, a lot of the properties I'm seeing that are on a little bit higher end have now actually had people where they have a place to sell or have just sold. Okay. So really important that you're out there understanding how you can explain to somebody how to do a move up, right? We talked about it before on being able to, work out a net sheet for them, be able to understand what their expenses are, being able to say, okay, like, here's the kind of equity that you can move into the next property. So make sure that you're concentrating on that kind of business, because the gap between the move up has definitely shrunk. And now with a 1/4 point reduction, not going to make a huge difference, but it gives you a reason to reach out to people and say, hey, with another 1/4 point drop, your buying power just became stronger. Let's see how that affects your situation. Okay. So really important, just, communicate to people and then let them know, like, there are great opportunities for move up buyers right now. Okay. Okay, what else going on? Who's got a new listing? Who's got any stuff to talk about? Who's got challenges that you need some help with? Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Well, like I said earlier, I just listed one this morning. And it's beautiful.
Nice.
Pretty happy about that. And I also mentioned earlier in this conversation that I've got an offer on one of my other properties in town here.
Good. Now, where are the buyers coming from?
The buyers for the one in town here, I'm not sure because it's my listing. I'm not representing the buyer, so I'm not really privy to that.
Yeah.
The sellers, for the one that I just put on the MLS this morning, that was just networking. It was somebody that I worked with before and somebody that she worked with somebody before that. It was just like bounced down the line.
Great. Okay, good. Herbert's got a story to tell you about one of our agents. Tina?
Oh, yes, Tina Klein. Now that she's internet famous, She was here yesterday, didn't come by to say hi to me, so I'm a little angry, a little upset about that, but I understand now because she is internet famous. But I did a video with Tina. I shot a video of her with a listing that she had. And she gave me a call recently, like 2 weeks ago on a Saturday saying, hey, guess what? She's like, first of all, what is ChatGPT? And I told her what it was. And she's like, well, a client typed in ChatGPT, show me the top agent for senior homes or senior something. And her name came up.
Yeah.
Then the person clicked on the video that I shot of her, loved the video and said, and then reached out to her and says, I need to use you. I have a home that I have to sell for my parents. Let's get together. So she called me. She's like, it worked. And I'm like, let's get more videos going then. So clearly she has the magic. I don't.
So, yeah, so I asked her about that and I said, I hear you're internet famous. And she said, I had no idea where the call came from. He said he put something into, she said, Chad P something or other. And I said,
Chat P.
and basically said, show me who are the top 3 agents in Rexdale. And the profiles came up, her video was there. He clicked on the video and he said, once I saw your video, he said, I knew you'd be the right agent for me and my parents. So there you go. You tell me that videos don't work. There's a prime example. Okay. And that was from somebody that has never done one. And that was her first.
That was her first. And we had no script. There was no prep. It was just purely natural. I just used her wonderful personality on the video to come out. And that's all I did. And I didn't do anything special on that. Anybody could do it, and there you go. It works.
Yeah. Okay. So really important that you're always updating your profiles, updating your video, updating your content, being out there, being informative. Okay. Because the buyers and, consumers, both listing and selling, they're online doing their research. How do you show up online? What kind of information are you given?
I had somebody approach me recently who's like, hey, I saw your video on Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, no, you don't understand. I don't do social media. I don't surf anything. Like I rarely open up Instagram. I'm not on it. But he's like, I just happened to click on it once and I just started scrolling and your video came up regarding your home. I'm like, that's powerful. That's amazing.
And even with this Tina client about the seniors, you would think most seniors won't be on ChatGPT checking for it because they're not computer savvy to begin what their kids are.
Yes.
And most of the time their kids will be helping them find an agent.
Right.
Or information online. So it's not the seniors who are searching that, but it's majority is they're younger. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a family helper.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. So. Okay. Other activity going on? Nothing.
Now that this hopefully will form up the Pickering, I've
Yeah.
already showed them a few houses day before yesterday, 7 of them, six of them,
Okay.
all after evening. And one has an offer date on a Thursday and we are waiving today. So tomorrow we're planning to put an offer on this. It's a bidding war there.
Yeah.
They priced it at 935 originally. Now it's 800,000. So I already know they want around the 9 because 934, they would have negotiated 40 to 50,000. And they're willing to go up to close to 870, 880 maybe. We'll see if it works.
Good.
And farm, no condition because
Yeah.
they're paying off their mortgage. So they'll be mortgage free for them. Just inspection, maybe 3 days.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I have a challenge for everybody.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Jade, I'm just gonna tell a little story here. So Jade's been working with clients who are really struggling to show up on time to showings.
oh,
And like he's booking 2 at a time because just in case they're like an hour late, they've missed showing. Anyone that's been in the business and dealt with this, please give your advice.
So far, I've tried like telling them to come like 20 minutes early, and they still came like 7 minutes before the showing
Oh,
ended.
geez.
So yeah,
So one thing I heard, there was an agent fined $2,000 for not showing up.
Yeah.
Right?
I was about to say, yeah.
So all you have to do is kind of prepare the clients, send them that article. That's how important like, if we have to be,
Yeah.
otherwise it'll be a problem. So even when I'm first time showing these Pickering clients.
Yeah.
I said, just give me a time to pick you up. After that, I'll arrange a time for traveling to the Ajax from Pickering.
Yeah.
And each house, I'll time them accordingly. So if there's 6 or 7 houses, some house they may take more than half an hour.
Right.
Some house 5 minutes every out. So I can't control that part, but I'll do the best to get to it. But I explained to them that we only get majority of the time half an hour slots. And if you really like it, we'll book another one to go see it again. Then you see it more in detail. Right? But yeah, for initial time to arrive, show them something that's how our they're very strict about it. Right? That's the only thing I would think of, yeah.
Anyone else?
Other than picking them up, I don't know.
And the other thing is, also ask them if you were the seller, think about it. If you are selling and we showed up 20 minutes after our appointment, they won't allow us in.
Right.
And I could still get reprimanded with a complaint. So I don't want, to be in trouble.
Wait, are they late for their first showings, like in a chain of showings, or just a one-off show?
yeah. It would be like so say if there's like 2 or 3, the first one they'll be late too. But then the second one, like, because we're going right there together, like they'll be on time.
Okay, so in
So
that
it's just
case,
mainly the first showing.
if they show up late, tell them, like, look, we only got 5 minutes left here. Make it quick. Unfortunately, you missed your slot. We got to move to the next one. That might teach them a lesson pretty fast.
Yeah, if they lose the showing, even if it's 5 minutes, just say we have to be out.
Yeah.
That's, even if another agent is not waiting for us, we have to be finished by that.
Or you trade in that crappy car of yours. I don't even remember what
Buy a
kind it is.
minivan.
Get in minivan, right? Huh?
Soup it up.
7
Give it soup
people?
for minivan, no?
Yes.
Yeah, because it is a family.
Oh, yeah,
like,
if you
well,
pick them up.
even if she comes by herself, she's still late. But like,
Yeah, it just maybe just let them know that, we have a specific time period that we're allowed to be in. And just, hopefully we can sort of respect that time for the seller, because lots of times sellers will go out of the house for a specific period of time, knowing there's a showing.
yeah.
And so, if you think that you're gonna be, I have no problem booking it later and give you more time to get there, but we need to be within our times. We need to be within the time slot, because and the other thing to be careful of is if in some areas, they actually will use electronic lock boxes, and if you're not within that time frame.
Because I always make sure I show up. Like
Yeah.
even if
Yeah.
they're late, I always just put my card in first, and then I'll just wait in my car
Yeah.
or wait there
Oh,
for
okay.
like the time.
Yeah.
But like
And then
just waiting.
you
for
have to
them.
inform the agent then that they're running behind, just even by.
Yeah, I had to do that for
So
one of
the
them
agent-
so that we get it extended, because
Yeah.
they would have got there by like the end of the show.
End of the show, yeah, and a lot of agents won't do that.
Yeah.
I've had it so many times, even the Pickering.
Yeah.
And because he has cameras, he knows nobody showed
Oh,
up.
good.
So I said,
Yeah.
okay, let me text her. She's saying, oh, these people had 2 kids. And we didn't know, with the seats and everything. So now it's 2:30 appointment. I'm calling her at 2:28. She's saying, can we go at 4 o'clock? I said, what time would you get there then? 4:30. I said, well, that's 2 hours later. So, okay, let me cancel it. You'll have to reschedule.
Yeah.
But that was like, she didn't communicate.
Mhm.
Sorry, Nancy.
We should also address home inspections. Agents giving out lockbox numbers to people like home inspectors. I think that needs to be addressed.
That's not allowed, right?
Well, it's against RICO.
Yeah.
It has to be licensed, yeah.
Right? So any inspection, anytime there's an appointment for what it is, at any property that's listed,
Agent.
there needs to be a licensed realtor on the premise. Okay? And actually, But one of the things that Rico does have, and it's in web forms, is an actual document that the sellers sign off on, acknowledging who's coming in at what time. So if you really want to protect yourselves, then an email is fine, a confirmation of an appointment through the showing system that they verified and approved. But do understand, okay? You are a representative of that. It doesn't matter if you're the buyer agent, seller agent, nobody can be on site, okay, without being accompanied by a licensed realtor. And if an agent tells you I do this all the time, then let me know and we'll send them a little reminder from Rico that just says like, here's the rules. And don't be surprised because of what's happened with iPro, the boards, Rico, all of them are going to be looking way more at even little infractions and making sure that they start publicizing these to show that they are being a little more strict and a little bit more in tune with what's going on within their organization. Okay.
September is our fun barbecue, lawyers come in, presentations, family fun day. October is going to be me and forms and all of you people getting to sign them, okay? Our HR department's getting very excited for October. That's me.
It's the HR cap.
No, this is what, you know, my client wants, and well, that's great. And the other one goes, well, this is what my client wants. Well, actually, if you actually sat with the client and talked about it, you'd be amazed how one client, well, yeah, we're okay with it, you know, yeah, we wanted that, but we can be a little bit flexible. All of a sudden, the deal's getting done. You know, you've heard me talk about this before. Do not let the deal die in your hands. Right? Always try and get it moving forward, whatever it is. But it's real easy to make a deal die when all you're doing is emailing it back and forth with no communication.
And
Okay?
to add
I
to
would
that,
say-
Scott, and to add to that, if you're caught in multiple offers and you're the loser, stay in contact with that listing agent because that original offer might fall apart. My deal I just did in Muskoka Lakes, guess what? We lost in a multiple offer while I was on vacation. It came back to the table because the other offer didn't go through. So we came back, took 25 grand off our original offer and still won it. So my buyer got it for 25K less. So just keep in contact with the listing agent, stay friendly, and you'd be surprised they'll call you back.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was going to say the other thing I'm noticing is when we're talking about like COVID and everything, obviously I wasn't on the transaction side of it, but am I accurate in suggesting that there wasn't a lot of like buyer profiles or like every offer we received the other day, there was a letter and then in the email, the agent was describing the personality of the buyers and their life choices and everything like that. During COVID, it was just, here's my deal, here's how much money it is. Yes, thank you very much. So I know we do that for tenants because tenants, that can be a little bit harder. But this is my first time experiencing the buyer side of it, having those letters plus all of the background information from the agent. And I know Jade and I were talking about this when we have tenants, I always add that extra information. Again, with this couple that I was working with, I added in the fact to, yes, they wrote a letter, but I added in as the agent is like, look, I've been working with these guys for a couple months. She is 5 months pregnant and she does not want to keep looking. She is exhausted. And she feels that this unit is perfect. It had 2 bathrooms where I'm like, that's fantastic. So all of this information I added into the email and that wasn't a multiple offer situation and we got it.
Yeah, really, really, again, the real estate, the business of real estate is not the bricks and mortar, the condos or anything like that. It's relationship, and it's a relationship with buyers, sellers, agents, mortgage brokers, lawyers. It's all about relationship. Okay? To make a transaction go smoothly, and there will be bumps along the way. It's a lot easier to move it forward. It's a lot easier to get it to the end when everybody's working together. But once you start, we've talked about this before, and Nancy shared a good experience. Once you have somebody in that transaction that feels like they've been, they're not part of it, or, you know, they're trying to take a stance, it's hard to move it forward. Okay, so really good points about make sure everybody wants to see the deal done.
Yeah.
And the two people that really want to see the deal done are the buyer and the seller.
Yeah.
Don't get in the way, right?
I've noticed too,
Just move it forward.
I noticed too that when you have a rapport with the agent, both on the buyer and seller side, they'll reveal to you a lot of information that you didn't even know about that will help you in that transaction in a good way. So, you know, why not have a nice relationship with that person?
Right, so. Okay, deals are happening out there. So again, you gotta get down to what are you doing daily? What are you doing weekly? Make sure, if you haven't been, get out and look at properties physically, look at them. Okay? Always prep before your appointments. Go look at properties you're gonna show. The other thing that you have to understand is if you're gonna be out showing 4 or 5 different places, don't just book them. Go to the neighborhood the day or two before. Figure out the route you're gonna go. Make sure you're setting up the showings in a manner that it's gonna flow properly, right? And you can't, you think you can do it online until all of a sudden you get in the neighborhood, they go, oh, look, there's construction. This isn't open. What do I do? Right?
Or turning into the wrong condo parking lot and not able to get out.
Or even the stairwells where the lock boxes are, it's one way. Sometimes you can't get back into the stairwell.
Right.
Sometimes you have to tell the client to hold the door or something, you have to put something in the way.
Right, just plan your showings, okay? Take the time, be professional, get there. Set it up properly, do your due diligence. It'll go way smoother. And all of a sudden you're building that rapport, right? Okay, anything else? Barbecue Sunday?
Barbecue Sunday, between 12 and 4 p.m. Yep, hosted at our location, 5700 Can Cross Court. We have about 50 people coming. So I think it's gonna be really fun. We have the executives, not only from Realty Executives Plus, but from Realty Executives Priority One, Realty Executives Associates in Peterborough. I think there's some agents from Nelson's office, Kitchener-Waterloo area. So I think it's gonna be a really fun time. Lots of good food. We have some games, so badminton, bocce ball, stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Yeah. Well, everyone here has already RSVP'd, so.
Yeah.
This is kind of off the wall and I'm not sure about the confirmation, but if anybody is in the area of the Brampton Flying Club, can you pick me up?
The Brampton Flying Club, are you flying in?
I might
She has
be.
a private jet. Did you not know? She has a billboard and private jet.
I don't have a private
Whoa.
jet. I wish I did. I'm not Taylor
Oh.
Swift.
Oh.
Yeah, she doesn't have a private jet. She has her own pilot with a private jet.
I do have my own pilot. I will say that. Actually, I have two now. One of them's a realtor for Coldwell Banker, but he doesn't fly
Nice.
that way. But my guy will fly that way, so it's possible that I might fly into the Brampton Flying Club.
Cool. We'll figure it out. let us know.
When is this?
Sunday.
Oh, then I can pick you up. I'm
Sunday.
right there.
Because Saturday, I'm traveling literally for 8 hours to show houses to my sellers for the one that I sold on Eagle Lake Road. They want to see a whole bunch of stuff in Halliburton. Normally, I would farm it out to another agent, but because I have a relationship with them, I'm gonna go and like do it myself. So I'm on the road for 8 hours on Saturday, so I don't really want to turn around and do another 6 hours on Sunday.
I'm like 10 minutes away from there, so message me and we'll coordinate something for Sunday.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Harvey's.
Great. Super. Okay, well, again, make sure you communicate the mortgage drop today. You know, there's no reason not to communicate with your database and clients and all that, and we'll see, hopefully, everybody, as many as we can.
Actually, I think everybody in this meeting right now is coming on Sunday.
Good. See you Sunday.
Yeah.
Super. All right, everybody, thanks.